Hello, and welcome again to Lightworks. This video is trimming on the timeline, part 7 of the Lightworks Quick Start tutorials. In this video, you'll see the real beauty and simplicity of Lightworks editing. While the main function of the edit timeline is to show you what's on the tracks and where you've cut from clip to clip, the most powerful function of the timeline is making fine adjustments to the timing of the cuts. We call this trimming. You trim by unjoining a cut, making the adjustment, and then rejoining the cut. I've assembled a few clips into the timeline, but there's some problem areas, and we'll fix them with trimming. Let's review it first.
I'm going to give that part to makeup.
Did you see her dress?
Yeah, more like a birthday suit if you ask me.
The first problem is this shot here is cut short. We'll need to extend that. The second problem is the incoming dialogue of this shot here has the audio from the other actor. We need to shorten this clip to remove that extra audio. The third problem is here. I don't like the way the picture and the audio cut together. I'd like to have them cutting at different points in time. The next problem is in the positioning of this cutaway of Kesa. That needs to come in a bit later. And also, I'm not too sure about the incoming frame here and the outgoing frames. So we'll adjust that as well. There are 3 ways of unjoining a cut. You unjoin a cut by clicking to the left, the centre, or the right of a cut point. First of all, let's try and extend this shot here. Click once on the left-hand side. All the tracks are unjoined. Now when we press play, we'll monitor the audio and extend the shot. Notice the viewer has changed to show us the outgoing frame of this shot and the incoming frame of this shot. To extend the clip, press play.
Monica.
For fine-tuning, you can use the nudge frames backwards and forwards. If you wish to play backwards, hold down the Shift key and click the play button. So I'm going to play forward and just press stop where I want the cut to be.
I'm going to give that part to Monica.
Just take a few frames off. You can use the left and right arrow keys to do this as well on the keyboard. When you're happy, click once more on the clip or press the join button on the timeline. Let's move on to this clip now. Clicking on the right hand side of the cut point, I'd like to remove some of this audio here, which is from the other actor. Pressing play, we'll roll the clip in. Pressing shift, we'll roll the clip out or extend it.
That part to Monica.
Extend a few frames there. And join up the cut. If you wish to unjoin only one track at a time, hold down the Alt key, then click. Let's see what happens when I play in this trim mode. Holding down Shift once more. Red warning lights have appeared on the timeline beside the audio tracks, showing me how far the picture and sound are out of sync by. The numbers on the warning lights indicate this figure in frames. Keeping the cuts unjoined, you can fix this by clicking on the warning lights. The third type of trim is to unjoin both outgoing and incoming shots. I'll just review this cut.
Your dress.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do is cut to the picture just as Sarah starts to smile. Put the mouse head on the cut point, press and hold Alt and click. Again, you can play forwards or backwards. This time, as we play in forward or reverse, frames are added to one side of the cut as they're removed from the other side of the cut. Notice there's no out of sync warnings because this way of trimming doesn't alter the length of the tracks. You can drag with the mouse. Click and hold and drag. I'd like to come in just there as she starts to smile. You can see we've now split the audio and video cut points. The audio comes in a little bit earlier, and then the picture cuts. This helps to set up the next scene. We can also use this way of trimming to fill the space we made when we removed the sync sound underneath the candle shot. What I'd like to do is extend this audio backwards to the start. Hold down the Alt key, click once on the audio tracks. Now instead of playing or using frame nudge, we can jump this cut point all the way back to here by using the jump backwards button on the transport control. Jumping forwards or backwards, the cut points will snap to all the other cut points on currently activated tracks. So in this case we just need to press it once to snap it to the beginning. That's done. Incidentally, unjoin remembers the placement of the last cuts you unjoined on the timeline. Clicking unjoin unjoins this cut where we finished just then. To show you how versatile Lightworks trimming is, I'll show you sliding and slipping. Sliding first. If I click on a clip and unjoin the cuts to either side of it, holding down the Alt key, we'll now be able to move this shot up and down the timeline, keeping its length the same, but removing frames here and extending frames here. This shot comes in far too early. There's not enough room for this shot to breathe. So we need to move it down the timeline a little bit. We can play forward or reverse.
More like a birthday suit.
Holding Shift.
You see it there, yellow.
I just want to leave a little bit of extra breathing space for this shot here. What we're watching in the viewer are the open trims on each side of the clip. Here and here. I'm going to zoom in on the timeline. Again, holding down the Alt key, I'm going to unjoin each end of this cutaway shot here. And again, play forwards or reverse. Altering both ends of the clip at the same time. The viewer now displays the first frame and the last frame of this shot here, while keeping it in the same place on the tracks. I'm rolling the clip. I just like to set it just before she takes a sip from the coffee cup. That's done. If I unjoin this shot here to slip, here's a question. What audio am I listening to while I'm trimming? If the marker is to the left of my clip, we'll monitor the incoming audio.
Did you see her dress?
If it's to the right, it monitors the outgoing audio.
Yeah.
What about if it's inside the clip? It simply jumps to the nearest side.
More of a...
The Lightworks keyboard, available from EditShare, has all of these trimming functions printed on the keys. The keyboard is available in English, French, Spanish, German and Japanese. Let's review those changes.
I'm going to give that part to Monica.
Did you see her dress?
Yeah, more like a birthday suit if you ask me.
Okay, that's all for part 7. In the next video, we'll show you some simple transitions, fades and audio crossfades.